Hello, my friend. Today I want to talk about one of the Bill's favorite books that he doesn't even hide he likes, but he never says the real reason why he reads it. But you will understand as we go through it. The book is called How to Lie with Statistics. I know many of you are scared of us, crazy ones, that don't believe in narrative. It's only because there is two types of people. One type of people believes in TV news, and another type are us that can think, analyze, and research things. So I'm doing this review for my sleepy, lazy friends, so you will understand what is statistics and how powerful is this knowledge. Many of you probably think statistics are accurate. Many of you probably think statistics are just imaginary numbers. I have to disappoint both sides. Statistics are actual numbers. There is instances who controls the process and makes sure that research or questioning was done, so they can't just make up the numbers. But in same time, the numbers can be manipulated and they not always reliable. For example, if you want to find out some views on some subject by the age group, let's say under 40 years old, most of the interviewers will choose 20-30 years old people to interview. Rarely they're going to interview 39 years old, that's known fact. Also, they wouldn't disturb many teenagers on the streets, so large range of opinions are missing here. If you go door to door, you're missing out employed people. If you're going door to door in the evenings, you're missing out moviegoers and nightclubbers. Another thing we have to keep in mind, people are not always honest with their answers, especially when you talk about their income. Poor people often are ashamed that they are in such a bad situation, so they could say they earn more than they actually do. People with side earnings would hide them in fear that revenue office will find them out, so they would hide all the incomes from their side jobs where they getting money on the hand, so you can't really win. Let's go to examples from the book to see how statistics end up non-trustworthy. The simplest one would be this. A psychiatrist reported once that practically everybody is neurotic. It turned out that he came out to that conclusion by studying his patients, who are long way from being a sample for population. If a man were normal, our psychiatrist would never meet him. But would you consider that before someone else researches and debunks this report? Most probably no. Okay, let's get serious about this. The test of a polio vaccine. It appeared to be an impressively large-scale experiment as medical one goes. 450 in community was vaccinated and 680 children was left unvaccinated as controls. Shortly after, the community was visited by epidemiologists. Not one of the vaccinated children contracted a recognizable case of polio, neither any of controls. What an experimenters had overlooked or didn't understood in setting up their project was the low incidence of polio. At usual rate, only 2 cases would have been expected in a group of this size, and so the test was doomed from the start to have no meaning. At least 15 times more children would be needed to obtain an answer signifying anything. Many a great, if fleeting, medical discovery has been launched similarly. Make haste, as one physician put it, to use remedy before it's too late. The guilt is not lay on medical professional alone. Public pressure and hasty journalism often launch unreliable treatments when demand is high, same as it was with cold vaccines and antihistamines. A good deal of the popularity of those unsuccessful cures sprang from unreliable nature of the ailment and from a defect of logic. Given time, cold will cure itself. How you can avoid being fooled by inaccurate statistics? Use your brain. No, seriously, look up for data to compare given graph with. Look up if in the graph there is enough information. Read between the lines. Let's read example of advertisement. Buy your Christmas presents now and save 100% advices in advertisement. This sounds like an offer worthy of old Santa himself, but it turns out to be merely a confusion of base. The reduction is only 50%. The saving is 100% of the reduced or new price. It is true, but that isn't what the offer says and what those kind of offers makes people do. Secondly, you have to understand what means average. While ago in America it was announced the average family is 3 to 6 persons. When you go behind arithmetics, it was found out that 3 to 4 persons per family made 45%. 1 to 2 persons in family makes 35%. And only 20% of families are larger than 4 persons. That makes large families as minority. But if you go simply just by the numbers are right. For example, average wage in company. In this situation, there could be many different graphs made. There could be separate graph for employees' wages, for manager wages, or for owners' profit. There could be that all together as average wage, and it's not going to be lies because it's average wage in the company. Here, see how by just changing scale, you can make totally different look, by that giving people totally different impressions. You probably have noticed the corona graphs, all those huge spikes, and sheeple see the spike, starts panicking. Oh my god, look at this spike, we all gonna die. And again, how big population are those cases with symptoms or asymptomatic? What age group? Was there new test center open? Or maybe there was big meat factory stuff all tested in one day compares to other regions where there is no test centers. There is tens and tens of questions that are not answered in those graphs. Only a huge spike which explains absolutely nothing. I sometimes can't even understand how people buy this. People are so lazy to even try to read. For example, just go back to 2017-18 flu cases and compare them to this year. Sure, why would you? People are so deep in lethargic sleep where they are programmed to turn off their brain cells and blindly believe and follow whatever what the government says.
This is a message from your beloved government. We support you. Why? Because you do everything the government says. You never question anything because you know the government never lies. You, loyal sheep, don't care that thousands of cancer victims are dying a painful death, that suicides are increasing daily. You just don't care, my beloved sheep, because you know no death is as important as a COVID death. It doesn't matter to you, oh sheepy, that our civil liberties are being taken away day by day. It doesn't matter to you that you can't say goodbye to your dying relatives. It doesn't matter that you can't go out, meet your friends. Just believe in more lockdown after lockdown after lockdown. You are happy sheepy to hide indoors while you wait to be injected with the vaccine. And don't worry, if you don't want the vaccine, we will hold you down and inject you anyway. Just keep watching the government propaganda from the BBC and Sky News and stay too scared to go out.
Here is another way how to manipulate with the impressions, these comparison drawings. Nothing illegal, no lies, just dramatized pictures. Now slip back on percentage point and consider the case of the juice extractor. It was widely advertised as a device that extracts 26% more juice, as proved by laboratory tests and vouched by Good Housekeeping Institute. That sounds good, right? If you can buy a juicer that is 26% more effective, why buy any other kind? Well, now, without going into the fact that laboratory tests, especially independent laboratory tests, have proved some of the darndest things, just what does that figure mean? 26% more than what? When it was finally pinned down, it was found to mean only that this juicer got out that much more juice than an old-fashioned hand reamer could. It had absolutely nothing to do with the data you would want before purchasing this item. You can use accident statistics to scare yourself to death in connection with any kind of transportation. If you fail to note how poorly attached the figures are, more people were killed by airplanes last year than in 1910. Therefore, modern planes are more dangerous? Nonsense, there are hundreds of times more people flying now. That's all. And now I want to show you information about the flu and malaria, which is perfect example for today's coronavirus statistics. Some malaria figures means as little, where before 1940 there was hundreds of thousands of cases a year. In the American South, there are now only a handful, a healthy and apparently important change that took place in just a few years. But all that has happened in actuality is that cases are now recorded only when proved to be malaria, when formerly the word was used in much of South as a slang for cold or chill. So, do you think Bill likes and reads this book by accident? Really? I want to finish today with a thought from very good movie, Best Word, that claims that there is maze in our heads.
The goal is to find the center of it. If you can do that, then maybe you can be free.
We are put in that maze to find the center so we can free ourselves from the ropes that keeps us as prisoners in our heads. We have to get to the center to free ourselves from manipulations and from programs. When you educate yourself, when you wake up and seek for truth, you are a player in this game called life. If you are sleepy sheeple, you are not player anymore. You are just a decoration. Stop being decoration. Start playing. I hope you enjoyed this video. More coming soon. Don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe, and see you very soon, my friends.